The first thing the neighbors noticed was the sound. Paper does not breathe. And yet, every night after the funeral, a thin rustling drifted through the house. Not like wind against windows, not like rats in the walls. It sounded like lungs made of parchment. At exactly midnight, the paper effigy placed beside the coffin was no longer facing the door. It was facing the bed, and its painted eyes, once flat and lifeless, seemed slightly wet, as if something behind them had begun to blink. Li Wei had never intended to disturb the balance of the living and the dead, but grief is a kind of hunger. His wife, May, died in winter. The doctor said it was illness. The neighbors said it was fate. Li Wei said nothing. They had been poor, too poor for medicine, too poor for offerings worthy of the afterlife. And poverty, when mixed with guilt, becomes something dangerous. He believed she was cold in the underworld. He believed she was alone. So he went to a craftsman of funeral effigies. But Li Wei did not ask for servants or horses. He asked for her. A life-size paper replica. Every detail exact. The curve of her cheek, the mole near her lip. The craftsman hesitated. You should not make the dead too familiar, he warned. Li Wei paid double grief. Does not listen to superstition and tradition. Paper effigies are meant to burn. Fire is the bridge. Smoke carries the offering to the spirit realm. But Li Wei could not bring himself to set her alight. Instead, he placed the effigy in their bedroom. He lit incense. He spoke to it. He apologized. Night after night, he knelt before painted paper lips and begged forgiveness for failing to save her. There are rules that keep the worlds apart. The living must release, the dead must depart, paper must burn. By refusing the fire, Li Wei left the offering unfinished, suspended between realms, and unfinished things rot. On the seventh night, the air grew thick, the room smelled of ash and damp ink. The effigy's paper fingers, once stiff, curled slightly inward. Not like wind, like intention. When Li Wei whispered, "Come back to me," something answered. But it did not come from heaven. It came from the space where longing tears open what should remain sealed. The neighbors found Li Wei weeks later alive, but hollow. His eyes followed movements no one else could see. He spoke softly at night to something that rustled beside him in bed. They burned the effigy. Eventually the face had sagged inward, as if something had been wearing it from the inside. Even after the fire, the sound did not stop. Paper does not breathe, and yet, in houses where grief is fed instead of released, there are figures standing silently in corners, painted smiles stretched too wide. The paper effigy spirit is not summoned by hatred, it is summoned by attachment. It is the shape of love twisted into possession. The dead are not meant to be rebuilt from memory. Paper is meant to burn.
Some stories are meant to be remembered, not because they are true, but because they remind us of our mistakes. Every curse has an origin, and every origin begins with a human choice. This has been Cursed Origins.